CMPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
My name is Omar Skinner.
My name is Briel.
My name is Veneer Chapman.
My name is Pamela.
Expecting father. I'm kind of nervous. Don't really know what to expect for it.
I am a single father of 2, 1 boy, 1 girl.
I have a husband of almost 7 years. We have 1 child, which is a baby girl.
I have been a godmother for 5 years now.
The show Parental with a Purpose gives you great information to learn and see other people's point of view from different perspectives. Just take it and take heed to what they say and put it into your lifestyle.
Parenting with a purpose for me would be leading my daughter into the world, showing her that she's not in this world by herself.
We all know that it takes a village to raise a child.
Just being there for other individuals to know, like, you're not alone. There's resources out here, there's villages out here for you to be a part of. And when you're connected with Parenting with a Purpose, you have all those things right at your front door.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Parenting with a Purpose. I am your host, Donna Janelle.
And I'm your co-host, Pamela.
Dang, Pam, you're not even I am your host, Pamela.
And I'm co-host. No, our intro was pretty cool, so I got tuned in. I'm sorry.
Can't you tell this thing live? I didn't even like that energy that Pam just brought down. What's up with that?
It?
Yes, let's try this. Hey, welcome to Parenting with a Purpose. I am your host, Donna Janelle.
And I am your co-host, Pamela.
That's much better. So thank you for joining Parenting with a Purpose. As you can tell, we are silly up in here today. Remember that parenting, we want to bring back the responsibility, nobility, and beauty back into parenting.
Yes.
Parents are the bows and our children are arrows, and they will land wherever we aim them as long as we give them the proper tools. We don't send them outside naked. So last week, we're going to kind of talk about last week a little bit before we get into this week. So Pam, break it down what we were talking about last week.
Oh, we talked about a few things. We had Briel in here as a special guest, and she dropped a few nuggets on us in regards to it being a partnership between parents and teachers. So it's not all on the teachers and it's not all on the parents. Having an open line of communication with your teacher and vice versa. Finding different ways that you could communicate with your teacher or your parent. Also, we gave out a few tips to do to lessen your children having screen time. So doing activities such as puzzles, reading books, and even different things you can do when you're walking in the grocery stores or just going about your everyday life to encourage and enhance your children having a love for reading.
Okay. And we also talked about the shootings and school violence and things like that, which is going to be, we're going to pretty much touch that every week, a little bit of it, because it's just.
And what was interesting is a lot of schools are doing the drills, but Briel let us know her school hasn't done one yet.
Yeah, they haven't done one yet, especially in kindergarten, because we know that some preschools and stuff are doing it. Because remember, when we looked at the stats, right, it was from K to 12 was mostly affected by it. Like, I think out of the 46 shootings, I think maybe 13 were in college and the rest of them were on school campuses of K to 12. So we know it's important. We know it's necessary to do these drills. So some schools are doing it, and some schools aren't. I don't know if they just not comfortable with it yet or whatever, but there's some schools, a lot of schools are doing it. I think it's like a mandate though. I think they have to do it. I mean, clearly.
When I was in high school, and that was over 10 years ago, we had to do it. Now, you do fire drills. I believe they have to do it like once or twice a month. Mm-hmm. Those drills, I think we did them like every 3 months because what it entailed in the time that was involved in them, it wasn't a hour drill or a 35, 45-minute drill. That drill sometimes was like 2 hours.
Listen, you said 10 years ago?
Yes.
Man.
So they should be doing them now.
They did active shooter drills 10 years ago?
Yes.
Wow. So
I went to high school in Maryland. So I graduated from Penn Cater in Delaware, but I started in Maryland. We had to do them.
I'm dating myself because all we had was fire drills, yo.
Wow.
I graduated in 1998.
I was a pup.
Oh, you see?
I was a pup.
This is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I guess this is payback because a lot of my friends and my prayer partners and them are much older than I am, so I'm always teasing them. So now I'm here with a youngin. Okay, payback. All right, yeah, so we didn't have to do that, so it's definitely a different time. Yeah. So tonight we want to talk about, though, like something that's really, and we kind of started it last week, though, when we talked about parental involvement. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about it, and I'm seeing the news, I see a lot of things going on, and I'm just like, we really got to get into this parental involvement. Like, there's such a mandate on parenting that, hold on, we got a little one in the studio today. Excuse me, ma'am.
You are doing a flag on the flag.
we live, ma'am. So we have come here, Tor. Come on. We have Pam, baby girl here. Come here, Tor. Oh, you said you wanted to get on the video. Then you back here making all that noise. So you can say hi to everybody. So that you'll be okay, and then you'll be quiet the rest of the show, right? Yeah. Okay. So. Come here, I'm going to give you the mic right here.
What you want to say to the people?
Hi.
That's it?
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. All right, so now we go quiet down. All right, see you. Thank you. Go have a seat. So it's funny because Tor at the beginning before we start filming, she asked, can she be on the show? She was like, can I be on there? We're like, oh, we're going to get you your own show. And then I guess because we over here talking and she decided to do her own show over there without the camera. Yes. So we had to bring her over here. But yeah, really a mandate on parenting. Like, yeah, there are so many different things going on in parenting. And I feel like it is up to us. And we touched about this last week. Like, in order for things to change, it is, I believe, the parents.
Yes, because we talked about how it begins at home. That foundation starts at home. So you can't expect the teachers to do something or input something that you're not inputting at home. It's just basically going against everything they're teaching at school and vice versa. That's why we talked about that open line of communication. But something that I seen gave me a wow. It was like, your kids do something and before you respond, take a moment. The example was they do something that you don't like or that you've told them not to do. It was like, take a moment before you respond to see if how you're basically responding is going to produce an action that you don't want.
Right. That's like, so I like that. And I always say, you got to kind of take that pause, right? Yeah. A lot of times, and this is how a lot of child abuse has happened, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're angry, you're upset, and you're disciplined out of anger, and it becomes to abuse, and it goes too far. So that's what happened kind of with this child abuse thing, and that's why it became this big thing where parents shouldn't be hitting our kids and stuff like that, of corporal punishment. But it's really because people were doing it out of anger.
What kind of punishment did you call?
Corporal punishment.
Oh, I thought you said corporate.
No, corporate. No, a whole society doing it. You go to some of them schools.
You gotta elaborate on that.
You go to some of them schools, they do. Yo, you know what? This is what I'm thinking. Corporate. You said corporate. I'm thinking about back in the day, like in the neighborhood, like. You could say that's corporate because I remember
they'll whoop you.
I remember before you even get to your mom, like your neighbor done got you, your neighbor done got you. So that I would think that would have been corporate punishment. When I think about it,
they had a whole union.
They had it was a whole community. It was a whole community to make sure. Because by the time you got to your mom, you really ain't need nothing, but she still was going to do it anyway.
You embarrassing me.
That's corporate punishment. But no, I'm saying corporal. Like, a lot of people don't understand the difference between abuse and discipline. You know what I mean? So, basically, how we respond. All right. So when we think about what we want the outcome to be, like I'm more like, how do I want this outcome to be? So then I'm going to act accordingly. Like if I want this outcome to be like a yelling match, I'm about to snap out, right? If I'm angry, me and you about to go at it, and the kid, why you yelling at me? Why you yelling at me? Back and forth. Or if I want it to be, instead of talking to my child, talking with them.
Right, like, or at them.
Yeah, like not yelling and shooting down. You did it. Look, can you explain to me why this happened? Or something like that. I think it's just a better approach. But I feel like it's not even just the education system. It's in life in general. Like, how are we raising our kids? Like when we look at everything that's going on with our kids, right? The number one thing is like I always look is like, where's the parents? What they doing? What they got going on, right? Because here's the thing, we are responsible for our kids.
No, seriously. So, okay, I want to touch on something. Are you familiar with like HBCU week?
Yeah.
Okay, and did you hear what happened at the college tour?
Break it down to us.
So every year, I think Ashley Christopher, she's been doing it for about like 6-7 years. Forgive me if it's been more. And it's like a week full of different events, activities.
Right.
And she invests a lot of time in that stuff, and it always turns out wonderful. And one of the things they do is a college tour to give to give students an opportunity to get scholarships on hand. So not waiting to hear back, like you find out that same day. And I actually have a niece who's been attending since her freshman year. So getting the experience, knowing how to write your different letters and different stuff, and just preparing her for the future. Also building resources as well, and a community, because she's not sure where she wants to go to college. Well, there was people who had no intent to be proactive, to utilize those resources, and just went there and started like madness.
Yeah.
Like it was fights. It was over 6 different fights that broke out. The chief of police had to show up. It was weapons, all kinds of things. And it was just chaos to the point the event had to be shut down early. So children who went there and, had expectation to receive were basically like,
denied it because of
the
the
actions of others. And different people, made posts and was talking about it, gave their different opinions. And a lot of people were saying, I blame parents. And then you have parents on there like, well, I know some of the kids who did this and their parents wouldn't approve of it, but are you sure?
Right. So here's the thing with that. Even though, kids would go wayward, like kids gonna do what kids do. But here's the thing. When it's like behavior like that makes me question, like, because then you got to think about morals and values and things like that, and character, integrity, like those things that we're supposed to be instilling in our kids. So if a child feel like it's necessary to go to demonize an event, so that makes me wonder, what's the foundation?
Oh, not just the foundation. What was that time that you let go that you thought was okay that now has built a whole character in that child?
Yeah. And that's why I say parenting is so important, because listen, our children have their own mind, their own personality, right? But if we understand how growth and development happens from a baby, right? From the beginning, and we're putting things into them, right? Now, don't get me wrong. There are some children that have some mental illnesses and mental disturbances that's nothing we can have done about it.
Right.
However, but we are responsible to nurture and grow our children to be successful, right?
There you go.
So when kids are out here doing all this crazy stuff, I do look at the parents, because let me tell you something. My children are a reflection of me. So whether they do something right or whether they do something wrong, they're still a reflection, because how I respond to that is my responsibility.
There you go.
Right? Just for example, the young man that shot up the school in Texas, right? His father gave him the gun, right? So he's like, he had a problem. His father didn't address it, or his mom. His father purchased a gun knowing that he was dangerous to society, and now people are dead because of that. I blame the parents. For these kids who are out 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning, jumping that elderly man in Philadelphia a couple of years ago, and where were the parents? Like, where were the parents? So I'm not saying that we need to blame parents for everything, but we need to be held accountable. Parents need to step up the game. We should not let society raise our kids. We should not expect the school to raise our kids, society to raise our kids. We should not expect us to work 5 or 6 jobs and leave that kid at home and think that they're going to do the right thing.
Yep.
We should not expect that we're going to go out clubbing and partying and whatever, hanging out with our friends, and our kids are going to do the right thing. We cannot expect that. We cannot expect that we're sitting in front of a TV and think that they're going to learn some good lessons and be good people in the world. We cannot expect that. You got to put in the work for parenting, period.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree with you 100%. Because it's something that kind of almost like grinds your gears.
Right.
Like, and then it has you, me personally, let me speak for me, like, what else can I do better? So when I see different kids and stuff, like, I like to sit outside on my back patio And if I see people walk past, like, hello, speaking to them. And some of them kids, literally, I think they started coming past mine instead of going on the other neighbor's end. And it's like they look for me like, hey, oh my gosh. And then if my dad is there, he's a whole fireball. So where's the old man at? Because it's just like greeting them, making them feel noticed in a positive way.
Right.
They don't have to be out here being loud or doing certain things to get attention. Just walking, chilling. Hello, how are you?
Yeah.
How was your day today? How was school? Y'all doing good? Y'all showing up how y'all supposed to? Y'all need anything? Blah, blah, blah. Just taking care of my community, because at the end of the day, they're a part of my community. Even though they're not my children, have no relations to them, I still just want to check in on my community.
You said something that was real key there, because I see it often. Like, I hear it too. I hear people complaining that the kids are rude. They don't speak to people, this, that, and the other. But are you making yourself available? Are you speaking to these kids? Are you pleasant or anything like that? I'm making sure homegirl don't she over there, y'all, with the stuff for the studio. Little mom over there, I'm trying to make sure that she don't be touching no keys and running the show. So she put her book down and everything and had a seat, y'all. I don't know what's going on over here. But like being approachable, having a conversation. When you see kids, like, be pleasant, be smiling. Like, a lot of times I see adults just give me mugging kids. Like they got a problem with kids. You don't even know that kid. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, how do we expect our kids to walk around with joy and happiness when half the daggone adults ain't even happy or got joy? They got problems.
There you go.
And then if the kids say, like, then it's a little battle. Oh, them kids disrespectful, they smart. How did you even just present yourself? Like, you don't know. Like, you can be the person that changed the trajectory of that child's life. You can add some light and some sunshine, because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes with these kids. These kids deal with dark stuff.
Yes.
They deal with dark and demonic things.
Yes.
And we as parents, we got to really jump in. I heard something at the leadership conference I was at Saturday, and one of the things that he was telling us as leaders is that, you know, sometimes we want to do the avoidance thing. Oh, it's not my business. I'm not about that. Let me mind my business, whatever. But sometimes you got to jump in the mess. Absolutely. Like, step in the mess. As parents, you got to step in that mess and say, hey, what's going on? What it do?
Learn the children that your kids are hanging with. Learn their parents, and that's not saying, oh, you got to get a relationship with them. You could just watch them, observe them from afar. You know, see the things they do in this environment, see the things they doing in that environment. Go on those field trips. Right. When they saying, oh, I want to go to the movies, drop them off at the movies. Right. Go see yourself. Go watch a movie yourself. Right. You know,
I think that I'll say we, because I could do it a little better too, right? As parents, I know that life be out here lifing, right? Absolutely. That's just what it is. I know that we have jobs, we have different things that we're involved in, but at the end of the day, our children need us. And it is our responsibility to make sure that they have the proper resources that they need to be successful. Like, I think about this. I had this conversation with my bonus mom, like, children are a gift, right? Yeah. I believe I think I'm a gift. Life is a gift. Like, it's a gift. So our children are definitely a gift to us, right? How are we handling this gift? And how do we view gifts, right? Because sometimes you can get a gift, you pick it up and you throw it down. Or you ignore the gift. Or you give the gift to someone else. Or like, how are you viewing your gift, right? Do you appreciate your gift? Is it valuable?
When you just said something, so it's like, how are you re-gifting your gift? Yeah. Because if they're a gift to us, then now they're a gift to the world. So how are you re-gifting your gift? Are you using the same wrapping paper that it came to you in? Are you using the same bag? Are you fixing it up? Are you adding the tissue paper if you're using the bag? What are you doing?
How you presenting it? I just thought about that when you said, how we rewrapping it. I'm like, you know, when you take off the wrapping of a gift, like, you taking it off, you ripping off whatever, because sometimes you ain't fragile with it unless it's real cute.
Right. Or you like, what's in this?
Yeah. Or if it's real cute wrapping paper, you want to reuse that wrapping paper, you real careful, like, oh man, the tape got a little color off of there, but I can use a highlighter to get that on there. Man. Like how you, and I thought about, it's like, are you using the same wrap? Are you crumbling the gift? Like, what are you doing with our gift? So how we value our gift is how we're going to like present it to the world. So a lot of times I don't know if parents realize that our children are gifts. Like some parents, we just popped up pregnant, whatever. I mean, we ain't just pop up, but it's kids in the room, but things happen and you end up pregnant, right? But now that you have this child, what are you doing? Because you can get everything that you like. Look at your kids can look at TV, your kids can look at this, that, and the other, but it's you who is most impressive in your child's life.
Right.
Like we are the first cheerleaders, we're the lovers, we're everything to our kids, because what they see at home, they will exemplify. Now, I'm not saying that kids don't cut up. Listen, I'm telling you, I told you that time when I heard my daughter was cussing like that night. I'm like, we don't even do that in my house. Where's this come from?
You caught her cussing at the house?
Listen, let me tell you what I did. I heard that she was cussing at school. She cussed the teacher out. I was so livid. I was so embarrassed. I was so upset because I'm like, we won't even do that. Then I thought about when I was younger.
And I know
did
she
that.
gave her that net. Too.
Yeah,
my girl gives me.
Listen, so the teacher was like, I was so mad because we don't do that in my household.
Right.
And I'm not one of those parents who you see me one way at church, you see me one way in the grocery store, you see me somewhere at home, you see what you get. Like somebody said the other day when we were at the leadership conference, they was like, we need Minister Donna today. We don't need, and then the other person was like, well, they the same people, just so you know. Minister Donna, Donna Janelle, and Donna. We the same people. Like I don't do the switch. Listen, when I was younger, I did all that switched up personality stuff. I'm getting too old for that.
Right.
Like that's too much work I got to invest in to be multiple people in multiple places. Okay. So what you see is what you get. I don't go off. I don't curse at my kids or anything like that. And to hear my children use profanity in the house or outside the house really disturbed me. I was like, is that what you're seeing? No, but again, kids are around other kids. Kids are around other adults. Like they see it. So it's not like we can shelter them from everything. My concern is that even though you see it, why are you being it?
Right. And what made you feel comfortable to do it?
Yes. So when the teacher hit me up with that, I was like, and I believed her. I didn't think she was lying because my homegirl, she tests my inner gangster. She tests my inner gangster all the time. So I was upset, but I had a conversation with her and I asked her though. I didn't go off and say, you up here cussing at school, this, that, and the other. What you doing? I said, what? She said, well, I ran out of the other words to use. What? I needed something to sting, something that was significant. Oh, something that hit home. I said, what? Hit home? Hit him in the belly. I said, oh. I said, so she said, typically I use a lot of big words, but I didn't feel like using those words. I ran out of those words. I decided to do something else that was going to sting them. I said, oh, she was intentional with her cuss out. So I explained to her, like, listen, trust me, I don't be cursing people out, but people think that I did without profanity. Like my sister who passed away, her mom, she used to be like, Donna, I don't know whether if you just cuss me out without using profanity, like I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to you right now. Like what just happened? Because I will literally just have a conversation and you don't know what just happened. Like you know something happened, right? And you don't know. Like she ain't used no profanity, but she got me.
How did you discipline her,
Donna? Well, I just told her, don't do it again. I didn't, oh, no, I did. She couldn't go to soccer or something that day or something, like the next day or something. She had asked me something that she wanted to do. And I didn't let her do it because I was like, that behavior was out of control.
Right.
So I didn't go in on her because this is the first time I heard about it.
Okay.
So I didn't go in, and basically the way that she explained it to me, like, I don't know, I couldn't even say nothing to her when she was explaining to me why she did it, you know what I mean? But here's the thing, there's never a reason to disrespect anybody, other kids or adults or anything.
Right.
But when she explained to me what was said to her and why her response was her response, I told her what was said to her was not nice. However, we don't fight back like that.
Right.
We do the ignore thing. So that they don't think that nothing really happened. Like their words or whatever they say is just in the air. Like once you start acknowledging stuff, you feed in that situation. So we talked about it, and we still working on it. You know what I mean? She's 16 and she's small but fierce, and so we work on it. But that's even an example. Even though I don't do it in my household, she did that at school. Right. So I'm not saying that everything that kids do is parents' fault. However, if we don't give them a foundation though, if we don't take responsibility and say, okay, this is giving them morals and ethics and things like that.
And the response, like you said, you didn't go at her. What is your problem? You know,
right? Because then that's the same thing you doing.
Exactly. So it's like, and a lot of time that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Though that's what they get, and the kids is used to it. So it's like, I know this is going to be one of the consequences, or this is going to be one of. Verse, you change the game up on them. Like, talk to me. Like, take a ride with me. Let's see what's going on. Let's see where we both could be better at. You know, because maybe I'm lacking somewhere, and I didn't realize it that you out here feeling comfortable to be embarrassing me.
But not even that. One of the things I do, I kind of tug on my kids' heart, because this ain't even just about me. You're embarrassing God. You're embarrassing yourself.
Oh, like you want to get deep like that?
Yeah, I do, because it's like we are a representation of God, right? And I'm a representation of you, and you're a representation of me. So what if I come outside doing all this ratchet, crazy stuff? What does that say to you? Like, how does that make you feel? So think about how it makes me feel and what God sees in us when we misbehave like that. And what examples are we setting? Like, one of the things with her, though, is she is a leader and she wants to be a leader. But I keep explaining to her, like, as a leader, these are certain things we need to curve.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not perfect, but if you expect people to follow you, you need to be doing the right thing. Don't have me follow you and you all jacked up, and now we all jacked up. For example, this is another example, and I know last year there was a couple kids on the train tracks and got killed, right? So there was, I think it might have been like 3 or 4 kids, and
That's local?
Yeah, local, here in Chester. I was on the show when it happened. And there was an older lady, she told the kids to get off the track, right? She told the kids to get off the track, and they's like, no, they're getting smart, whatever, doing whatever. And next thing, bam, the train comes, right? So my question to the parents is like, are we raising our kids to be respectful to everyone? Because, like, you know, they get smart with the old lady, and the old lady was just trying to save their life. Like, did children become so numb to authority? How does that happen? Right. So, am I blaming the parents that those kids was on that track? Absolutely not. But what I will question is because of their character, of how they were acting. Where they get that from?
Wow.
When I see stuff that happen with kids, I really do question the parenting. Because I think that sometimes parents think the world is supposed to raise the children. Oh, I'm putting food, clothes, and shelter. I ain't got to be home and spend time with my kids. I just got to provide for them. I ain't got to invest no time in them. I ain't got to invest in their education. I ain't got to invest in their well-being. During this snapping, they up here giving kids like this crappy food. I ain't even got to invest in good food for them. I'm feeding them, right? And I know, don't get me wrong, it is hard. It's a challenge in parenting. But I'm telling you, if we become really intentional and take the time out and do what we need to do for our kids, we will see a change in our children and society and school. These teachers ain't got to deal with what they're dealing with.
Yep. That's crazy, because it's not crazy, but when you said, like, you know, basically I'm taking care of the necessities, and I was reading something, it was like the necessities, but please don't forget, you know, their physical and mental well-being as well. How are you feeding that? By when you're clothing them with those clothes, and when you're nurturing them with that food that you are buying, like, how are you really caring for their physical and mental well-being? And then it even like broke it down, going like, you know, spiritually as well. But I was just sitting there like, yeah, sometimes you do get caught up in the necessities, like, you know, they got shelter, clothes, and food to eat, they good, but are you even like praying over that food that you're feeding them?
Listen, I am tired of the parenting school excuse. I'm doing the best that I can.
Because are you really? Because
the question is, are you really? Because a lot of people use the excuse of, I'm only doing what I can do. No, baby, you can do more. Yeah. Are you investing? Here's the thing. You know, my theme this year has just been, around here, we put in the work. That's just my thing. Around here, we put in the work. I think that with the challenge of parenting, sometimes parents don't want to put in the work.
Because you done put in so much work in other areas that you probably had no business putting work in. Whether it be relationships, friendships, jobs. Like, some of these jobs be a bit much. I done left a job, but jobs with an S, because of not just my peace, but even how you're like treated and respected on jobs, like how they feel as though they could talk to you as well. So when it comes to that, like, I am a person, like, I am a human being. I just don't demand respect. Like, you're either going to give it or I'm going to go on my way.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to make you do something that you know you should be doing. So I'm just going to remove myself, because at the end of the day, when you are at work, when you do have extracurricular activities, the different things that go on, whether you know it or not, it attaches itself to you.
Yeah.
And then it'll start building roots. Then those roots will start having foundation in you, and you're trying to figure out why you tripping out, why you spazzing out, why you reacting like this. Like you said, I ran out of this vocabulary. Well, since you ran out of this vocabulary, I'm going to go get you a different kind of dictionary, because these are the words you're going to learn now. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
That's how sometimes you got to navigate in life.
Yeah.
Like, I done had enough of this over here, so how can I re-navigate to put myself back on the right track?
Right. I think, we put in work wherever we want to put in work, where we feel that that's a priority, or we're going to, quote unquote, reap the best benefit.
So are your children not your priority? Oh, it's this guy. He got a podcast or whatever, and his thing is identifying the dummy things we do. He's like, little do we know, we do a dummy things, and we go in cycles. And he was like you said, we invest. He was like, why are you sitting here investing in your parents? That's not how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to be invested in the next generation. So if you don't got children, you feel me? Find somebody younger, or find an organization to invest in that deals with the youth.
Right.
Instead of investing in your parents. He said, no, it was never said. He said, even if you look in the Bible, he said, and I don't even get down like that, but even the Bible don't tell you to do. It tell you respect your parents. He said, but it don't tell you, oh, go invest, go buy your parents a house, go do this, go do it. Then you try to figure out why you broke, or why your parents keep calling you to do this and that. No, you were supposed to be investing in them kids. You were supposed to be investing in the next generation.
Right.
So even people who don't have children, parenting with a purpose is whatever role you play, whether it's auntie, uncle,
Absolutely.
The community aunt, the community cousin, you be that best version of you every day, not just some days, not only on Wednesdays, every day.
Right.
So find something that you didn't get to do on Monday, do it on Tuesday.
Right. I think, the whole
Go back to to-do list.
I love to-do lists. I got a whole list to do this. I think, I don't know if so when my ex-husband left, right? And I had the 2 children, and I was one who worked all the time, and I was also active in my church and stuff like that, right? So when he left, one person said to me, "Oh, what you gonna do now that he's not there? How you gonna raise your kids?" And I was like, "What you mean?" I was so confused with the question, because primarily I was more of a provider, though, right? But I didn't think, because of what other people said to me, I didn't think I had it in me to be a single mom to raise my kids. Right? I didn't think that I had enough strength, fortitude, or power to actually do it effectively. So in the beginning, when I first was separated, I was really trying my best to prove people wrong.
So you was working extra hard.
I was working extra hard. And one of my oldest told me that I was living a porcelain lifestyle. Everything looks pretty, fragile. I was so micromanaged, overmanaged, everything, that everything had to look nice on the shelf. Everything had to be in its proper place, right? But that was because I felt like I had to prove those people wrong about me parenting. Like, I can really do it. Time goes on, and one of the things that really shift my parenting, honestly, is when my sister and her husband passed away, and I got my girls. That really shifted my parenting, because it was no longer me. It was me having to address my own issues, though, because I know when I first got the girls, I had said to God, because I felt like I was still broken from a lot of childhood things, right? And I felt like I was parenting out of fear, and I felt like I wasn't healed, but I wanted to make sure that my children was okay. But you can't really make sure your children are okay if you don't get healed. So you really can't. A lot of times we try to make it because as parents, this is what I must do. You must get yourself healed so that they can get the best of you.
Absolutely.
So I had said to God, I was like, why you give me broken kids when I'm broken? I ain't able to. And God was like, well, who told you was broken? So I was deeming myself as broken because of life experiences and things that happened to me. But he was like, you're not broken. You may be bent, but you ain't broken. So, but he showed me that I was the person for the job. So through me getting them made me actually parent my biological children better. And that's how Parenting with a Purpose started. Wow. It's through God showing me how to do this parenting thing right.
Yeah, I remember we talk about that.
Yeah. So a lot of times we think that we're doing things a certain way and it's right because this is all I know, or this is, I'm afraid, or things like that. But when we sit down and we listen to our kids and we have these conversations and we think about what is the outcome we want, and we're evaluating and say, okay, that don't look like it's hitting to that outcome. Now, don't get me wrong. Kids go left, right, upside down because sometimes, woo. But at the same time, is what are we doing as parents? Like, I feel like we are in such a time, a crisis time, where there is a true mandate on real parenting. There is a mandate. I think our children's life depend on it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, because I said a lot. You just be like, yeah. Go ahead, D. You got it.
I was literally taking in everything you were saying. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's important to take a moment. It's really important to take a moment because, like you said, life be life, and we get caught up in so much. And like you said before, you was trying to prove a point to the point you ain't even realize not only was you hurting yourself, but you was bleeding out on the kids.
Bleeding out on them.
And then here you go. Yes. Here you go getting a whole new set of children. And it's like, that made you pull up. But not only that, it made you realize and self-evaluate. So when we're taking that moment, what are we taking that moment to really do? Are we self-reflecting? Or are we sitting there just picking at the wounds like, well, they did this to me. We already know that happened.
Right.
You're not responsible for that, but you're responsible about how you move forward in life.
Yeah. You're not responsible for how you were raised. You're responsible for how you raise yourself.
Exactly.
Now, Pam, you just said something, and I want you to touch on that because I want to know kind of what that looks like. When you said, I thought about like taking that moment, right?
Yeah.
Taking a moment. I thought about one of the things that we always say about what we want to do as parents is protect our children. And I think taking a moment protects our children.
Yep.
Can you tap on that?
Because if you don't, sometimes you'll be overprotective. So you'll be shielding them so much that they'll be oblivious to every little thing. Like, you ever been around a little kid that's like, what's that? What's that?
Oh, get in.
And you're like,
girl, you know that's
I'm going to be honest. It used to tick me like, yo, like, I'm gonna have to go talk to your parent. What's going on here? You act like you don't know nothing, but it be dead serious. It be dead serious. It's not the whys that get me. It's the, what is that? Why are you doing that? Like, look here. I guess y'all don't communicate or something.
They can't just be innocent.
All you know is rainbows and sprinkles over there.
But they can't just be...
Like,
Pam, the happy kids made you mad.
No, you wasn't happy. You don't know nothing.
You don't know nothing.
You don't know nothing. You can't open this bottle of water. You can't do nothing. Like,
okay, one of those. Okay.
Oh, what's that? That's water too. What kind of water do you drink out of? Only certain kind of bottles? Only stainless steel? Like, what's going on here?
I cannot.
But taking that moment, what it looks like for me is literally taking a moment, like not doing nothing, even if it's for literally just like 3 minutes, taking a few deep breaths. I might step outside, just taking the air and just try to really think about nothing. And then I have moments where I'm taking a moment. It's like, hold on, we got to revise some stuff. Let's take a look. Let's come back to the drawing table. Last month we did this, we did that. This is the way we went about it. How can we go about it in October?
Right.
To get a different outcome. Not that September was bad, but we want more.
Right, yeah. We
want better.
Yeah.
So when we come back to the drawing table, remembering what happened, took self-notes of September. So when we get to October, we can have better outcomes with other things.
Right.
Such as our children.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things right now, or I would say the most challenging thing, is really getting parents to understand that you have the power. Like, I got the power to make sure that my kids, because I think that God has given children as a gift, and that when we look at the school system, we look at sports, we look at all these extracurricular activities, they are just resources. Like, they're just extension of what you already created and put in. And a lot of times we're using those things as the base, and it's not the base. Like, you are the base.
Home base.
The home base. Like, you are the one who set the standard. You're the one who put things in order, and it starts young. And even if you didn't do it right, or there was a challenge, even when the kids were younger, they're older now, you still could do it because you still the parent. Like, do you understand? Do you understand? You still
so
the parent.
Do you think some parents don't realize that they have the power?
I think that's what it is.
Or abuse.
Oh, we can get both sides. We can have, I got the power and I abuse it. I have the power. I just don't know I have the power. Also, I have the power and I don't feel like doing nothing with it.
The ball is in my court.
Yeah, but I'm not even shooting. Like, make that make sense.
You can't.
But I think it's just the work. I feel like parenting is work.
It is. It's a lot of work. It's work when you don't even want it to be work.
Right.
You ever be sleeping and just wake up like thinking about the kids?
Yeah.
Like, hold up, what's going on?
Right.
And everything be okay, but no, it is. It's work even when you don't want it to be work. So that's why when you have the time, it's very important to utilize that time wisely, instilling different things in them. And once again, if you don't know what to instill with your kids, tap into Parenting with a Purpose, because we have those resources. We'll talk with you. We'll encourage you. You will be a part of a village that will continue to uplift you, but you also got to be willing to put the work in.
You got to put in the work. I can't say that enough, Pam. Like, really, Pamela. Really, Pamela's in the house, y'all. Oh, really putting in the work. Because we put work on our cars, right? We put work in our house. We invest.
Some people don't.
I know they don't, and that's what
you know. They changed the thing at the DMV.
What are you talking about?
For when you getting your car inspected, they changed certain things because we're getting those temp tags. You know, you could go get a temp tag if you had something wrong with the car.
Oh, for real?
They changed it. It used to be 30 days. Now it's 15.
Oh, for
and it's more money.
Wait.
Temp tag used to be 30 days, $20.
You know, huh?
Yes, because one time it happened to me with my old school.
With your old,
my old school.
So wait.
And when I had to get it, I was like, "Oh man, I'm going to get pulled over." They was like, "No, you get a temp tag." I'm like, "How does that work?" And it was like $20. I was like, "Well, by then I could have got mine." They was like, "Yeah, but you didn't know. We ain't got to fix." Right. Boom, all taken care of. But yeah, so they had to change that up. So sometimes you need to change things up.
Right. You need to invest and really put it in. Stop covering stuff up. Stop putting a Band-Aid on stuff.
For things get exposed in the way you don't want it to.
That's not where I was going with that. But okay.
Well, that's where I went with it.
That was not going. Oh, Pam, you hard.
Because that's bleeding out on your kids.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to say a little bit.
Don't shoot me there. I'm sitting on it.
I was going to say, stop putting Band-Aids on stuff that needs to be sutured.
Okay.
Like healing from the inside out.
Okay, nurse. That's what this leg is doing.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes we cover up, and by what I'm saying, we covering up by giving our children material things. Like, that's the cover up. letting them go hang out with friends that you don't even know nothing about because you want to please your kid. That's the cover up. Because you are in the business of trying to please your kid instead of parenting your kid. That's the cover up. So what I'm saying is that when we talk about putting Band-Aids on, like healing ourselves so that we don't bleed on our kids, like healing our wounds. These are wounds that happen from childhood or even early adulthood or whatever. Life be lifing. And because we don't take care of these wounds, we're now bleeding on our kids and we're putting Band-Aids on them, like clothes, shoes, and because we use clothes, shelter, food, and all that as Band-Aids instead of understanding that there's some emotional stuff, there's some mental stuff that needs to be taken care of. But first of all, I got to take care of myself. So the mandate for parenting is take care of yourself so that you can take care of your kids. You know, we know the old saying, and I know you heard it, even though you're not, old. Even though you're not old, Pam. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? So what does that really mean, though? Like, you can't pour from an empty cup, but even if your cup full, where you pouring out of it? What's the fullness of your cup? Like, how's your cup being filled? And is it being filled with the good things? Because our job as parents is supposed to fill our children's cup up with good things. Right. So if I have a cup, I don't care how full that cup is, how running over that cup is, but what is in that cup? What is running over? Is it blood? Is it blood? Because now you're giving them, now you're feeding them blood like the cannibals or something. Like, so I believe you can't pour from an empty cup, but I also believe that if we're going to fill our cup up, we need to fill it up with the good stuff so that what we are pouring out, we're giving goodness,
right?
Kindness, values, morals, ethics. And the only way we could do that is if we invest in ourselves and put in our cup. So there's a mandate on stand up, pull up, as you said.
Yeah, pull up, tap into the resources, tap in to those things that the communities that you're seeing online that you're like, oh no, I don't want nobody in my business. Right. That's what it always be. Oh, I don't want nobody in my business. I don't want nobody in my business.
Right.
Some people don't even want to be in your business.
Right. But if you
want to be in your own business, know what's really going on.
Do you know your business? Because you can tap in. So here's the thing, like, again, people do what they want to do, what they feel a priority. If you think something's going to make you money, you're going to go tap into that. If you think something's going to make you a certain status, you're going to tap into that, right? Yeah. So
this will make you a certain status. When you talk about money, I'll just say wealth. Because some people think wealth is about the richest, like financially, but wealth is your health.
Man, you can't buy good health.
Taking care of your mental well-being, your physical well-being, like all that. So
I think,
why wouldn't you want to invest in that?
Right. And one of the things that I do, like, people laugh at me or whatever because I'm always researching, I'm always doing something. Like, I don't really watch regular TV like that. Every once in a while I might kick a movie, but I read like crazy. And I'm not reading just to say I read books, but I really be trying to learn some stuff. I like to see how other people, I like to see biographies because I like to see how people were raised and what they did with their life, even though they were fumbled or whatever. And it makes me look at things. But I also, one of the things that I do, I tap in different Facebook groups. Like, really a community. Like, there is so much technology out here. There's really no excuse of why we're not parenting well.
No, seriously.
Like, there's no excuse why we're not parenting. Like, tap into resources. And everybody say, well, it's not a book to raise children. Well, listen.
It's not, but look, on them groups, you don't want nobody in your business. Guess what I learned? You could make a post anonymously. Yeah. So they don't even gotta know that it's you. You could be chatting on there and it's you. They don't even know. Right. And they respond and you're getting answers or you're getting solutions to your problem. And one thing I say, God will never give you a problem or he always make a way of escape, number one, but he always give you a solution too when you got a problem.
The thing is that we need to be looking for the solution. Too much we looking at the problem.
We on the problem, add more to the problem.
Stressed out, frustrated, anxiety, blood pressure going up. Now you in the ER, who taking care of your kids? I'm just saying. I only said that because I did it. No, I did it. I did it in my parenting. I did. So stressed out doing everything else or whatever. And now what happened? Hence, I had those strokes back in 2020. I had 3 strokes in 2020. You know why? You know what the doctor said? It was stress. And you know what he said?
Out there trying to prove people wrong.
Trying to fix everybody's life. Like, I mean, Yolanda, fix my life. Let you know, Donna, fix your life. How about that? Like, I was working, I was in school, and I was taking care of my kids as a single mom of 4 kids. And I felt like I had to do it all, or I desired to do it all, and no, baby girl. And not even doing that, but taking care of everybody else too. And that's the thing. And you know what the doctor said to me that really woke me up? And I thought I was really about to get smart with him. I really was, like, but I really couldn't talk like that because I had the strokes. I was paralyzed on my left side, but I was thinking some stuff in my head. He gonna say, so what makes everybody else more important than you? I said, could talk. I said, huh?
Well, what you gonna say?
He said, why do you feel like everybody else deserve what you give to them, but you deserve nothing?
Why did you feel that way?
I said, oh man, I ain't say it to him, but in my head, I was thinking, I wish I could really talk real right now so I could lay him out.
But why would you go?
Because it hit home. It really was true. It really was true.
You was pissed off because he was telling you something.
Like, he was challenging me on, like, Donna, you doing everything else for everybody else, but what about you? Why do you feel like you need to be everybody's superhero? Why do you think that you're their savior? Like, why? Why are you trying to please everybody else and just depleting yourself? Now, when you live a selfless, and this is one of the things I do want to talk about, because as Christian, as people of God, a lot of times we go around, we say we live a selfless life, right? But living a selfless life does not mean you take care of yourself less. And what happens is when you take care of yourself less and you're giving it to everybody else, you're not giving it to them in the way that they need it, and you're not being able to take care of your kids because now you're tainted from everything else. So you're not really living your best life as you're quoting because you're not taking care of you. So in order for us to parent well, I need to Donna well. You need to Pam well.
Pamela.
You need to Pamela well. No, seriously. But when he said it, I was upset because I was like, yo, he calling me on the carpet and I can't even talk.
What you trying to talk?
I was.
What you doing?
I was trying to talk. Let me tell you, I was so, I'm a talker. So this is so true. I was there, and when I couldn't talk, I couldn't eat, I couldn't swallow or anything. Like, I was.
So you had the tube.
I was paralyzed on my left side, the IV or whatever, and I had difficulty swallowing it, and I really couldn't speak. So I literally stayed up. They kept telling me to go to sleep. They kept trying to put me to sleep, but I was talking. I was trying to talk, and I was saying, God, don't take my voice away. Like, I really was like, really sounded. One of the things that helped me, I was trying to quote scriptures.
Wow.
While I couldn't talk. And next thing you know, I'm talking some stuff. And our lovely bishop, you know what he said to me now? And I was telling him, and he said, yeah, I can still hear it a little bit. When I was telling him I was so happy that I could talk or whatever, I said, yeah, and I couldn't talk. And I was having struggle talking. He said, yeah, I can hear it a little bit. I love our bishop. I said, really? Lucky I couldn't talk.
So you know you can't really be too serious.
Yeah, but it made me continue to work. I'm like, well, if I still need some more work in this talking area. But I said all that to say is that, honestly, if we don't take care of ourselves as parents, we cannot parent well. You really can't parent well. So I said all that to say it's like, really, there's a mandate on parenting.
Yes.
And in order for us to answer this call, we have to take care of ourselves, and then we have to invest in our kids. And when we talk about protecting our kids, sometimes we got to protect our kids from ourselves.
Because what we do matters.
Exactly. That's for sure.
How we speak, how we respond, how we show up, it matters. Mm-hmm. It really does matter. And thinking that you're either too loving, it's no such thing.
Right.
You know, some parents are like, oh, I'm too. No, you're not.
Right.
Your children will actually teach you how to love them.
Right.
How to show up for them if you have that line of communication.
Right. You know, you said something. You said there's not such thing as too much love. I think these kids need all the love they could possibly get. There is not such thing as too much loving. You know, as a pediatric nurse, one of the things that I crack up with is when people like, put that baby down, you spoiling them. Well, first of all, they was in the womb all that time, and then you just gonna throw them out there and say you are on your own? Mm-hmm. No, you gotta cuddle them. You gotta still nurture them. You still gotta do that stuff with them. And it's not you're spoiling your kids. You love your child. You want to make sure your child from the beginning knows that they're loved. Mm-hmm. Mommy got you. Daddy got you. I'm always got, like, you ain't gotta be falling and wilding out and all that stuff. I got you. And I think that we gotta stop telling parents they loving their kids too much. I feel like some
you
people
doing too much by telling me that. Now, in some aspects, if that baby sleep, lay that baby down.
Yeah, I get that. There's a way to do things, but I think, you know, even if you had a baby in the first 7 days and you telling that mom to put that baby down all the time, I done carried that kid for nine months. Like, for real, that kid was in the womb, snug, heard my heartbeat the whole time. So you just gonna snatch it away?
I used to have.
I don't want to spoil no child
in the carrier. Mm-hmm. And as she got bigger, like, I literally would do everything with her on me, like, even to the bathroom. Like, I made sure we had a certain kind of bassinet and it went in there. And I would, like, play songs, because we ain't going to talk about singing, but my baby love when I sing, still to this day. But I would have her in there. And what I would do is I would shower her with me. And then I would wrap her up. Yes, stop, don't do me. And then I would lay her in the bassinet, and she was like, I'm telling you, that baby right there was like the most peaceful. You never had no, you know, sometimes you be like, you try to watch my kid for a little bit.
They be like, nah, I don't want to watch them kids.
How long? Like, is it an hour? Is it an hour and a half? People used to be like, yo, y'all need somebody to look after Tori. Like,
right.
Because she was just so calm.
I was just
so
laughing
peaceful.
because the reason why I looked at you that way, I'm like, Dad, you couldn't go to the bathroom by yourself? Like,
I know.
Like, no, because that's part of self-care too. I gotta be able to just go in peace and quiet.
Guess what, Neil? You close that door. What you doing in there?
That's what I'm saying. You did that.
What you doing in there?
Now you did that.
I don't even be caring.
Oh, you did that.
I do not care.
What you doing there? Minding my business. That's what I'm doing. But that's funny though. I think it's so important to really early on really have that bond and nurturing that child. Let that children need to know that they're protected and they're safe. That's one of the ways early on we can show them that they're protected. I got you. Mm-hmm. You know, sitting with them, holding them, nurturing them. You know, and there's a time where they need to kind of get off your lap and you get to moving, but that's a process and you're training for that. I think sometimes people want these kids to come out, get out, walking and talking, and then when they do that, they talking about they doing too much. I don't know what you want. You go up too fast. It must be somebody else on the way. Like, you know how to get in your business. Talking about, you must be got another one coming because this one doing too much. But no, really, we just sit talking and talking and talking. But it is so funny of how people really view you as a parent versus checking their own self in their parenting. Mm-hmm. So again, I think tonight's takeaways are: there's a mandate on parenting.
Mm-hmm. What you do matters.
Put in the work.
Put in the work.
Utilize resources.
Put in the work.
Tap into those online groups, parenting groups, whatever groups. Tap into parenting with a purpose.
Yeah, and don't just be getting information and getting all this information.
Yeah, that part.
And do nothing with it. Mm-hmm. Honestly, put in the work. If you don't know where to start, reach out to someone in those groups. Reach out to Pamela, Donna Janelle. Like, we make ourselves available for these such things that we talk about. So we're not just talking about them to be talking about them. Like, we have real life practices.
True,
like, we've been through some things put together separately, you know, as individuals. But we've came together for a purpose so that you can know your purpose, you can walk in your purpose, and you can fulfill your purpose as parenting intentionally.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wow. You see why I got her as a co-host, y'all? That was fire, Pam. I ain't even had to put no flyers on the plays over there. That was fire. No, seriously. We really appreciate everybody tuning into Parent of Purpose. I will say that we do have a Facebook page out there. It is Parenting with a Purpose Facebook. You can tap into that page. You can send messages to us. We will get back to you. any questions you have, any statements you have, Parenting with a Purpose is here. We here to stay, y'all. Like we out here. We in these streets. We in these social media rooms. We are out here because we really want to help you be the best parent that you could possibly be and live in the fullness of parenting. We know parenting is a challenge. We know it's a challenge, but we also know that there's beauty in parenting.
Yes,
there's a lot of beauty in parenting. Right now, it's a challenge. You know, my 18-year-old is in the Marines.
Yeah.
And she's right now, as we speak, is doing the hardest part of the Marines. She's already been there for months, and now she's doing what they call the Crucible. And that thing is 54 hours of work. So it's challenging, but I also know on the flip side that there's going to be some beauty because I can't wait to go down to South Carolina and she graduate and I just, hug her because I haven't heard her voice in months. So, but there's challenging in parenting, but there's so much beauty. Like I just
want you to experience that beauty.
That part right there. We can overcome the challenges and experience the beauty part of it. And you could even have beauty in the challenges. So thank you for pouring told you. My speech will be off sometimes. Go ahead and be like, Bishop, I hear it. Okay. Thank you guys for joining Parenting with a Purpose. I am Donna Janelle. We would love for you to tap in so that we can be a resource for you, so we can help you. And close us out, Pam. What we doing? Oh, you said your spew, you done?
Yeah. So you got our host, Donna Janelle, our co-host, Pamela. Catch us again next Thursday at 7, and we will have another special guest.
Thank you guys for joining Parenting with a Purpose. Have a great night.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Parenting with a Purpose.
Be sure to follow us every Thursday night at 7 p.m. at Parenting with a Purpose. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcast. Be sure to look up Parenting with a Purpose.